Day two of the NBA Draft Combine featured the first 5-on-5 action of the event. And Cart, we finished recording yesterday afternoon right before this started. And I flipped it on. I went and grabbed a bottle with Banks, and we positioned ourselves on the couch. And I said, son, let's watch some of the best second round picks that you'll ever see in your life. And I think this was the right way to expose him to basketball for the first time. There was good basketball, there was bad basketball, there were guys mailing it in, there were guys playing well, but a lot of moving and shaking, I think. Some clear winners and some clear losers from day two of the combine now that scrimmages happen. So start wherever you want with this. What's your biggest mover from day two at the combine?
I mean, I think this is everyone's biggest mover. It's got to be Todd Pettiford. Todd Pettiford was incredible. First game, he had 23 and 8. He's everywhere, 4 for 8 from three. He had two steals to go along with it too. The other team, I think, was running. I want to say it was like a little bit of Elijah Martin at point, and Taha Pettiford was just eating him up at the point guard spot. He was everywhere. He was incredible. He looked like a guy who was trying to solidify any questions that there were about him, even as an undersized guard. That he wants to solidify himself as a first round pick. I thought he was really good in this one. Also, like to shout out another G League guy. I feel like I didn't see many people say stuff about this guy, but Mackenzie Mbako, I thought had another good performance coming from the G League camp as well. He had 14 points, was I think what 3 of 7 for three, 8 rebounds to go along with that, 2 blocks as well. Showed a little bit defensive chops on that end. I thought he was really good in that game against Tahad Pettiford.
Yeah, I completely agree. So Pettiford, it wasn't just like box score stuff with Pettiford, although he was sensational in the box score. He had 23 points, 8 assists in 25 minutes in the first scrimmage at the NBA Combine. He was everywhere. He had a sequence where he like came down, had this explosive cock it back transition dunk, then immediately got a steal, then immediately came down and sauced and took a step back three that didn't go in. But I was just like, oh, this is Todd Pettiford's game, and everybody else is just kind of running around in it. He is not being talked about enough, I don't think. As crazy as that sounds, like he was such an eye-popping part of Auburn's team. And for whatever reason, maybe it's just the fact that he was the one freshman. There were a lot of vets on the team, or how their season ended, or I don't know. The fact that people thought he might come back to Auburn, he's not really getting the buzz that like a Jeremiah Fears is. And I get he's a totally different prospect, different archetype, different size, all that. But like you watch Pettiford, it, it's hard to convince me that kid's not going to be a very good NBA player.
Yeah, well, and I think the role for him is going to be important because this is the thing about Tahad Pettiford. He does this. He did this at Auburn, right? He did 23 and 8, and then he followed up with 5 and 2. Like there were a lot of like when he gets it going, it's the hard time. It's big game high. Like it's honestly, does this count as a big game for him? I guess he's trying to solidify his draft stock, but it's a consistency thing for Pettiford though, and he has the ability to do this. It's just can he do it consistently? Because I think at Auburn he would have these performances. He would just also have some little stinkers mixed in here and there.
You mean to tell me that Bruce Pearl had inconsistent guards?
Hey.
Like, is it not fair to speculate that maybe playing at that program might have contributed to that? I would argue that Todd Pettiford looking as good as he did in Bruce Pearl's rotations off the bench is like a pretty loud endorsement of who Todd Pettiford could be in a different system.
I suppose.
You don't agree with me there?
Nah, no,
There's a
I
lot of
thought.
good players that have struggled to find rhythm in Bruce Pearl's in and out, I don't trust you rotations.
Oh, you're talking about like with the not playing guys major minutes.
I just think you look at all his good teams, even back to the Final Four, he does weird stuff with his guards that kind of keeps everything choppy at all times, including like Tahad was never really given the keys to this team. I mean, they had Janai Broom, so obviously you weren't going to, but like, man, there were often times that they would play through Denver Jones or Miles Kelly as much as they would play through Todd Pettiford, which is just crazy to me.
Yeah, fair to say.
So, all right. What other winners you got? Who else impressed you from what you saw?
Uh, ooh. I mean, I'll let you talk about Yaxel because I thought Yaxel was good, but another one that I've been, I was going back and forth when we were doing our big board things because I think this might be a guy who ends up being a really good pro. Is Hunter Salis. Hunter Salis had a double double in this scrimmage. 10 defensive rebounds, 14 points. He shot the ball well, 6 and 9, 1 for 3. Salis has like measurables. He looks like an NBA guard, like wing, whatever position you want to put him at. Has the athleticism as well. And he has shown that he can score at the college level, the high major level in the ACC. So I was really impressed with his performance as well. Well, having a double double for him at the guard spot.
Yeah, he was good. He just looked the part too. I don't know. There were some guys you could tell felt like we're going through the motions a little bit. This game, both games, were extremely, extremely sloppy, lackadaisical. They just
And they
weren't.
were scrimmages. They were scrimmages in every sense of the word.
Yeah, and I think it's hard because in that setting, it's scrimmages with guys who everybody on the court feels like they gotta show scouts what's up, right? Like every possession is an opportunity for me to make loud noise and people to notice me. There's not a lot of make the extra pass going on really ever, and that's fine. But I don't know. I've watched this for a couple years, and I do feel like this year's version was one of the worst versions I've seen, at least at times. It was just very bad basketball, honestly. And Hunter Salis, I thought, showed just from a competitive standpoint better than a lot of other players in this event, which could
Yeah,
get him a roster call up, right? Could get it. He might have to start as a G League guy, but if you play good in the G League, consistently play as hard as you did there, you're probably going to get an opportunity at some point.
yeah, fair.
So that's where I'm at. This video is presented by Underdog Fantasy, and they've got a free pick tonight that you're going to want to take advantage of. Anthony Edwards to score over 0.5 points. Ant scores every single playoff game, as far as I know. Card, has he ever not scored?
Not since I've been alive, and that's 32 years for those wondering out there.
That pick sounds extremely free. Promo code SLEEPERS as a first time depositor at Underdog Fantasy. You can get up to $1,000 in bonus bets and a free pick. This is the shortest ad read we've ever done. You're welcome back to the video. I'm surprised you haven't named your guy, you and Riley's guy, who looked like maybe the best big in the scrimmages.
Oh, I knew what I was doing. I wanted you to speak on it.
You wanted me to say it, huh?
Yeah, please.
Maxime Renault was really good.
With a French accent, I might add.
Maxime Renault
Yeah, thank you.
was very good.
Incredible. Incredible in this. 9 rebounds, 20 points. Showed the ability to shoot a little bit as well. 2 for 5, made all his free throws. Had some assists too. He's going to he's going to be a good rotational big for somebody in the NBA with his size and other things he can do. He's going to carve himself out a real nice career.
I hope so. Um, I thought the reason he looked really good was very clear. Any guesses?
Was it who he was playing?
He was playing with the only guy on the floor that was looking to make everybody else look good.
Oh, the Nembhard fella.
He was playing with Ryan Nembhard, who I thought was as impressive as anybody in this game. 13 points, 8 assists to only 1 turnover. He had 3 steals on the defensive end. Ryan Nembhard shot the lights out in the shooting drills earlier this week. He's small, and I know you have never been a fan of his game, but you know I'm a sibling guy. I look up and I see Andrew Nembhard just making clutch play after clutch play for the Pacers. I think somebody's going to take a chance on Ryan Nembhard and be happy they did a couple years down the line.
Yeah, I think it down the line if he can carve out like a backup PG role for a good basketball team, and you can feel good about putting him out there, him running the team, taking care of the ball, the assists come on, he can do a little bit of scoring as well. Um, the the free throw line, he's got to fix that, but besides that, he was really good in this one.
For sure. So okay. All right.
We get negative.
Well, do you want to do Yaxel real quick? You mentioned him briefly, but I don't know if you even want to do it.
So the and shout out to Sweeney who brought this up too. Um, I thought Yaxel one like you talk about guys that pass the eye test. Yaxel just looks like an NBA player, like just aesthetically. I look at him, he looks like a pro. They played him at a little bit of a small ball five in this scrimmage, and I thought he was able to excel. Now I want to say he didn't shoot the ball too well from like three or anything. I think he went like 0 for 3 from three, but all the physical tools are there. He had six offensive rebounds, nine total rebounds, had a steal, a block. I just think that he obviously I thought you got to see the physical and measurable stuff in this scrimmage.
100%. Yeah, he was 6 for 11 from the floor, which means he was 6 for 8 from 2-point range. And it was almost all just like, hey, I'm more athletic than you. Give me that finish. I completely agree with your read that he just looks like an NBA player. And when you look like a man amongst boys in the NBA combine, you're probably just gonna find a way to stick in the league somehow, some way. I want to make no mistake about it. I don't know how good Yaxel truly is. I don't. I mean, there's data on him at UAB that I don't love. He was one of the best players in the country, but in the big games, he had some issues. He struggled against Dane Danger repeatedly.
You keep using that as like a down fact.
Well, if you're an NBA stud, I don't think Dane Danger gets in your way. And Dane Danger got in his way not once, not twice, three times, I think, this year. And let him
I,
hear
I,
about it, by the way.
I push back on that, but go ahead.
Okay. Point is this. He's just a man child. Like even in an event like this, you watch him, he is just a grown ass man that can do some guard stuff. If Michigan gets him, they will be incredibly blessed to have him for 1 year, right? This guy probably does not need to go to college. Maybe definitely doesn't need to go to college. And again, I thought this was not his best performance. Like you said, he went 1 for 3 from the free throw line. He went 0 for 3 from three, and you're still coming off where everybody in attendance said he was one of the biggest winners. Looked great on a day he didn't shoot the ball well at all. I think it speaks to everything that he is. 13 points for him, 9 rebounds, excuse me, 6 offensive rebounds in this event, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. He was everywhere on the court. So, what about losers? What were your biggest losers from what you saw in this event?
So actually, it was funny. I'm not sure if you saw this on the scrimmage or not, but there was a player out there, and I actually saw a thought, like a little thought bubble coming from his head as he was playing, and it was a bunch of NIL dollar signs. It was Darian Williams. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
He was one of many that I thought looked really disengaged.
He looked like he was nervous that he wasn't going to sign up for like if you don't get into a class by a certain date that you got to drop it. He looked like he was worrying about his fall semester schedule.
Yeah, do you think he knows where he's going?
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah, get ready to rock chalk, buddy.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. He's stinky. He looked slow. He did not look good at all.
He looked kind of respectfully a little bit like not prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to say out of shape, but didn't look at his peak physical condition.
Yeah, just kind of a go through the motions. I'm gonna attack one of my guys for a second. Vlad Golden looked horrendous in this scrimmage. Now, I think part of Vlad Golden looking horrendous was that he was matched up with Yaxel pretty much the entire game, and Yaxel kind of had him in a torture chamber. But
Flat foul out. Well, you can't foul out, but he would have fouled out.
yeah, Vlad had 5 fouls in 17 minutes, 1 for 6 from the floor. He got his 1 3-point attempt up and missed it. 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He can obviously be better than that. But Card, he didn't have a defensive rebound in 17 minutes. I mean, that is unacceptably bad. Vlad's a guy I've seen mocked in like the final 5, 10 picks in the draft, which would make me really happy because I think he had a great year and got better and better and deserves it. But he's not an NBA player, and I think this is one of the earliest indications of such. You know,
Yeah. Also, team was it Domer can't. They had some tough performances as a whole as a team. They didn't shoot too well. Uh, is RJ Lewis like full in on the NBA draft?
he shouldn't be, but he's saying that he is.
You know his name is also Reggie.
Yeah, that was funny to me.
That really threw me off
I
when I
was
had to check the
distracted
file.
by that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he gunned. He didn't make a three. He turned the ball over four times, the most on his team. Um, I I don't know. Was Patino right?
Yeah, he might have been. I don't know. On the flip side, PJ Haggerty was very good. So you had two guys in a similar spot, like wanting big money to return. And one was good, one was not. Two were not. Excuse me, Darion Williams was the other one who was really bad. Um, just some numbers that quickly stood out for me. Not that they matter all that much, but just things I know. Kobe Brea, 1 for 7 from three. You ain't getting paid doing that, Kobe. You got to make shots in these limited opportunities that you get. Um, Bryce Williams was 0 for 8, 0 points, 0 for 8 from the floor in 18 minutes. He was on Ryan Nembhard and Renault's team. If you're playing with the 1 point guard in the event and you go 0 for 8, that was not a good showing from a guy I would love to see catch on with an NBA team.
Yeah. I think he needs to be the point guard.
Bryce
That, that-
Williams?
yeah.
That seems like a stretch.
It is, but because he's not, but he needs to have the ball.
Yeah, guess that's true. Guess
But
that's
he was
true.
bad. But he was bad.
He was iffy to me. Anybody else? Anything jump out at you? Why are we not at the NBA Combine? We might be the biggest loser of this event.
We wouldn't make it.
They wouldn't let us in.
Yeah, I would have booed Vlad. I would have blew that, and I would have had a little sign that in the stands, a little piece of paper. Hey, Yaxel, go!
Yeah,
Yaxel, go!
that'd be why we're not at the Combine.
Yeah, probably. I was sad to see Mark Sears not have a an impact performance. I mean, like
Yeah,
he did have the passing stuff, but like after having such a great shooting performance in the drills, I was kind of hoping he would back that up. Now, he did play against some really good defensive players on Team Williams, I will say. Also, I know we didn't mention him, but Sion James did the Sion James thing.
yeah.
He just has people in hell when they're dribbling the ball. It's really tough to score on that dude.
He's going to catch on with a team somewhere.
Easily.
He's going to get an opportunity and make the most of it. I can't believe we forgot to mention Jay Nakins was a big winner of this event.
You know, we were doing so good. We were doing good.
Well, Ant Wright tweeted that he's better than Cam Spencer.
What?
So he must. Did I miss him? Did he dominate the scrimmage or something?
Are you sure you didn't get like caught by a fake page or something like that?
No.
He said that Cam Spencer is not a better player than Jay Nakins?
I'll pull up the tweet right now. Yeah. You didn't see this?
No.
I mean, I assume. Shout to Ant, friend of the program. We love you, Ant. I assumed this was because like Akins went off in one of the scrimmages, and I must have just missed it or something. Um, yeah, Ant tweeted Cam Spencer is not a better basketball player than Jaden Akins.
What's the interaction numbers on that?
64,000.
Touche.
Wait, he wasn't at the combine?
No,
Why?
he's in Chicago.
Oh, Salesforce?
Piss off.